public speaking course. My name is Nico Molino, and I will be introducing you to Yerba mate, or Yerba mate, which is the traditional tea in Argentina. I will be showing you a to-do, how to step-by-step lesson essentially of how to drink this. It's very simple, but if you falter on one of the steps, it could ruin your whole experience of a mate. Traditional way to drink it. So we'll go step by step pretty slowly, but not too slowly. And in the meantime, I also sent around a couple props, one being the tea itself from one of the companies, and the other one being a mate from Argentina, which also has my favorite soccer team on it. So that's one of the cultural things about drinking yerba mate.
What's this?
The team on there, that's my favorite soccer team. That's a little fun fact, I have them tattooed on my body. That's how important they are to me. So to start off, I will quickly just define the instruments that we have. So there's going to be 4 instruments that we need to have this total mate experience. The first would be a thermos. So is that how you say it, right? Thermos? In Spanish you would say termo. Now, for obvious reasons, you need the thermos because it is drinking with hot water. Even if it is summer, we drink it usually all throughout the year. So the first instrument would be the thermos. And you're going to want the water between 7 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius. And it's essential because if the water is boiling hot, it will actually burn the leaves because the leaves itself are loose leaf tea. So they're very delicate and they're not in a tea bag or anything like that. And there's lots of quantity of tea, so if you spoil a whole cup, you kind of almost just lost a lot of tea, and it's just kind of a shame. So for us Argentines, we really, it's very precious to us. Now number 2 is going to be kind of a combination of things, but first we'll start off with the bombilla, which is a very cool straw, and they all come in different types of straw. One of them is being passed around here, and this is just one that I'm using right now that I'll use as the main prompt here. But essentially what this straw does, it has a little filter at the bottom, and it essentially filters out the water, and then you just can drink it without sucking up any of the loose leaf teas. So this is the bombilla. There is no equivalent name for it in English. Now, the other essential part of mate is what's actually called mate. So this is what you would maybe call a gourd or a cup in English, but the exact name in Spanish is mate, and you also use it as self-titled for the actual activity. Let's go drink mate. Essentially, it would mean like, hey, let's go drink this cup, but no, it's as a collective mate. But to know mate is this cup, and the way I kind of explain to some people is that it's mate, it's spelled mate, but with the Spanish accent, mate. So just easy to remember, if you guys kind of forget what it is. And last but not least, of course, you need the yerba, which is essentially the tea. That's how we say it in Spanish. So even if you're in Mexico or if you're in Venezuela and you want to drink tea, you would ask for yerba. That's the equivalent of tea. So that's spelled with a Y. If you don't speak Argentine dialect of Spanish, you would say yerba, but because we pronounce the Y and the L's, double L's differently, I say yerba, but other Spanish would say yerba. But that's just getting into a little bit of the technicality of the language. But these are the 4 instruments that you need to have a mate experience. So if there would be any volunteers that would like to drink mate with me, please by all means come up. Okay, you all can come up. This one thing is also very important to know is that mate is a social instrument. Mate is something that we do as an activity to unite all of us together and to have a good time. And I have to give you guys a warning. The mate is caffeinated, so if you're not good with caffeine, then maybe just take a couple sips. But Yeah, you probably won't sleep tonight, but it's okay. If you have studying, perfect. You'll definitely want. I can sell it a little bit to you on the side. About a kilo over there or something. So no, but so essentially, I'm gonna get you guys to do it and show you guys how simple it is. So first step is of course assemble all of these instruments which we have here. Now what we can do is I can give each one of you one of these mates since we have the right amount of people and mates. We are missing 2 bombishas, but nonetheless you guys can participate in the way that we are. That's my team, so be very careful with that one. Okay, so now essentially with the next step here is just putting in the tea and the straw. So I usually put in the straw first, and the way we drink it in Argentina is that we just leave the straw in until it's spoiled, until it's completely bitter. So I'll just put this here like that, and for yourself, do it like this, and the other 2 bombishas I left it in my car by accident, so just pretend for now. But essentially, an important part about drinking mate right now is that you want the tea to be filled up 3/4 of the way. Okay, so you don't want to go overflow it because once you put the water in, it's going to kind of steep in a little bit and expand. So we're going to go 3/4 of the way. If you want to eyeball it, by all means. 3/4 of the way.
3/4 of that cup?
3/4 of that cup.
Wow,
Yeah.
that smells like a lot.
Yeah, that's how much tea we drink.
I'm gonna sleep.
You can be aggressive with it. It's okay, man.
For how many bags of tea?
I usually finish a bag in like 3 weeks, and that's a kilo. So, but I drink this like 2 or 3 times a day, once at least a day. Well, that's not 3/4. So this is you guys can't see, but this is what he has, and it's about 1/4 of the mate full. So you wanna, and the first time you're a little nervous, you don't really know what to do, you know all that stuff. So that's kind of 3/4, and you can still see there's a good lip missing from it being full. So that's a good amount. So when I put the water in, it's gonna steepen, it's gonna expand a little bit. So that's perfect. 3/4 right there. He's a natural.
I'm just a prop.
You guys want to go ahead?
No, it's okay.
You're just a prop.
Yeah, I'm just a prop.
Do you want to try, Brooklyn? No, it's fine. Well, we're not going to fill them all with water, but so just to give you just a little insight, it is something that's once you get the hang of it, it's very quick. But again, like I mentioned the first times, you're kind of nervous, and you don't want to spoil it, and more than anything, yeah, it's just a quick little eyeball like that. If you had the bombisha in there, it'd probably need a little bit more, but still, it's still good. Now, the second part of it is very simple. Essentially, just pour the hot water in. Careful, it's going to be hot. So right here, where it says pour.
No.
Just gonna,
Is that 70 to 80 degrees?
this is from the cafeteria, so it's actually over, so it's going to be a little hot. But and then you pour it in until you kind of see the top rise. So that's good. And then you leave it there for about 30 seconds. Let it steep a little bit, and you do that as well. And then after 30 seconds, it's good to drink, and you're done. You've prepared a mate, a traditional mate, and it's all set to go. Now the main thing is the customs of how to drink mate. So it's just like with every type of instrument and cultural experience, there's certain customs that come along with it. So the best way I could say is if you guys have ever smoked weed in a group, you pass a joint, 2 puffs or whatever, and then you pass it over. And with mate, it's once you drink the whole cup, you pass it over. And the person who's pouring you the hot water prepares it and then passes it to the next person in line. So for example, you guys can drink it if you want. Try it out. Now there's no sugar in here as well, so it's going to be bitter, but
Like,
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
That's good. So essentially, once they would be done, they would pass it back to me, and then from there, I would prepare the hot water again, and then I'd pass it to Brooklyn.
So you can use the same leaves over again?
Yeah, this lasts until you'll taste. By the taste, you'll understand when it's done. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
What's it?
That's really good.
Bitter?
Yeah, okay, so I have a question.
Sure.
So it is the same leaves, and then and then water gets poured on the same leaves over and over again.
Mhm.
About how many people does
Like me.
1 cup of mate serve? Like, don't the leaves get kind of worn out?
Yeah, they do. When you go by the taste of it, like I said, you'll be able to taste when it's spoiled. It gets like really, really bitter, you know. But I would say like a normal cup like this would probably serve like 3-4 people. Then once you get into like 5-6 people, then you get another cup going, and then you have 2 cups going around, and then you guys just finish the cup like I just did. I pour it and then I pass it on to Clay.
So does everybody have their own, I mean, we're just,
It's
it's COVID-19 days, right?
I know.
Well, does everybody have their own bombisha, or does that get shared?
No, yeah, you share, like, if someone kind of says, like, they don't want to share, you're kind of like,
It's kind of like a joint that way.
well, it's like, it's also in the sense, like, when we say hello, whether you're female or male, we kiss you on the cheek.
Yeah.
If you don't do that, and you're, like, Argentine, we're like, what's wrong with this person? You know, it's very, it's not respectful, so it's the same thing with mate, you know, 92% of Argentines drink this, so if they offer you and you drink it, and then you, like, are reluctant to share the same straw as them, it'd just be kind of like, they'd be like, okay, go ahead, but they'd be like, in their mind, they'd be like, this guy's a little weird.
Do you think, like, I got a genuine question about right now in the world, is there any word, like, culturally specific response to a global pandemic? Do you think that people would relax their cultural expectations or change?
It's so ingrained in our culture that it's like just a vote of confidence that we have with people just because we're Argentines, you know. Like, of course, there's probably some people that are speculative at first, but it's just one of those things. If you're my friend, you know, I would trust that you would tell me if you're feeling sick or something. But if we're at home and you want some mate, I'm not going to deny you some of my mate, you know. Like, it's just unwritten rules, you know, just so we all know. So, but
Okay.
it's just it tastes like home.
Thank you very much.